I just finished reading one of the best books I've ever read, and I really want to tell you about it. It was a book that was actually recommended to me by ChatGPT. It was one I'd never heard about before. I don't think a lot of people have heard about it, and when I picked it up, I was enthralled by it from the first few pages. It's called The Book of the New Sun, and it is basically one large book that's broken up into four smaller books, kind of like how Lord of the Rings is. It was written in the 80s by a guy named Gene Wolfe, who coincidentally was one of the inventors of the machine that makes Pringles chips. So that's cool. But it is a beautiful blend of sci-fi and fantasy about this man named Severian, who is a torturer in the Torturers Guild in this futuristic city that's also very medieval at the same time. Very medieval technology, but somehow it's also futuristic, if that makes sense. He's a torturer in this Torturers Guild, and he commits the unforgivable sin of showing mercy to one of the prisoners. And because he showed this act of mercy, he gets banished from the Torturers Guild. And from there, that's at the very beginning of the first book, from there he goes on this long journey that's not really linear. It doesn't really follow a particular story. You kind of have to figure out the plot of the book as you go along. And I loved that. This book took me into so many different directions over the course of the 4 parts of Book of the New Sun. Took me into so many different directions, so many twists. By the end of the book, I definitely want to go back and reread it because the story that it ended up being was definitely not what it looked like it was going to be within even the first volume, the first full book of this series. So I highly recommend you check it out. It's called The Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe.